Hello, and welcome to the ELT Practitioner Podcast, the podcast that unites teachers from around the globe to share and learn from each other's experiences, whether it be in the classroom or out. This is the very first episode, and hopefully there will be many more episodes to come. First of all, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Rosita. Now, unfortunately, I've had various mispronunciations to my name. I've been called Rosetta, Rojita, or Rosetta, thanks to Siri. And as far back as primary school, I've even been called Roti Prata. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, Roti Prata is a sort of an Indian-influenced flatbread dish that you can find in several countries in Southeast Asia. Namely Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. It's also been known by other names like Roti Canai and Malawi in North Africa. But then again, I digress. So let's see. I've been teaching English since 1994, so that's over 25 years now. So that could be your guess as to how old I roughly am. I started my English language teaching career in Singapore before moving on to Bangladesh, where my adventure truly began. So I taught there for about a year before I moved on to North Africa, Russia, and the Middle East. And I've taught in various schools throughout this time. Okay, when I'm not teaching, I enjoy watching films or simply being creative. I dabbled in watercolor sketching during my time abroad, and I have been interested in it ever since. I have a separate blog that showcases my sketches, and I've amassed a few sketchbooks along the way. Apart from that, I'm also really interested in finding out more about the behavior of language in society. As well as finding out more about colleagues and fellow teachers out there who are also keen on talking about their experiences or life lessons in the classroom, or maybe simply share an anecdote. I created this podcast so that English teachers like me could use this as a platform to talk about matters related to English language teaching, or ELT, particularly in circumstances where things have drastically changed, where our place of teaching has now moved from the physical classroom to a virtual one. This podcast is not necessarily restricted to ELT, but may be of interest to polyglots as well. I'm also interested in multilingualism, and as a multilingual mother raising multilingual children, language learning is something that's quite close to my heart, as I've always been intrigued by the notion of language acquisition. With this podcast, I'm hoping to organize each episode in two parts. The first is where I will talk about issues of the day that are related to ELT or English language teaching. So we'll be discussing matters that touch on what goes on in the classroom, current pedagogical issues, or perhaps even webinars that listeners might be interested in. The second segment will be where I'll be featuring someone to share their experiences and knowledge of teaching. They don't necessarily have to be teaching English, but an interview with someone from a different perspective on the other side of the room, perhaps, maybe a student. Or I might feature someone who's in ELT publishing or teacher training, a researcher. So I might get someone who's involved in this to come and talk to us about their job, the ups and downs of what they do, hopefully more ups than downs. So if there are any teachers or teacher parents like me out there who feel like they have something to share and contribute to colleagues around the world, or if there are teachers out there who are also parents who would like to discuss or reflect on what we've learned in our profession, or what could be done to make things better for our students or children, or even for us as parents and language teaching practitioners. So feel free to get in touch with me via my email, which is rosita@eltpractitioner.com. So that's it. Thanks for listening and joining me, and I hope you'll enjoy.